Would you like to sing but don't know how to start? I can tell you, you're sure not alone on this one. Well, stay with us here to the end of this video. I think it's going to be a lot easier than you think. So, let's start, shall we? Let's look at first where it is that you sing. Not the how, but the where. Where do you sing? Here's my suggestion. If you're having difficulty singing, if you're feeling uncertain or a lot of fear is coming up and maybe someone is listening and you don't feel that you can trust them to honor your singing of the process that you're going through and all the fear that may be coming up in you, this where question is really, really essential. And what is that where question? The where is that you find a place to sing, and this is the most important part at the beginning, where no one is listening. Okay. Don't try to sing for other people if you know that other people are going to trigger you. Go into a place where the space is open, it's free, it's empty enough so that you are there with your voice. Okay, you and your voice. Okay, you're the singer and the listener at the same time. And your voice is that communication bridge between both of you. And this is really important. Find a space, a place, a space that's free of other listeners, just you. And maybe that's your apartment. Maybe that's your apartment when your partner is suddenly gone grocery shopping or to work or walking the dog or what have you. Or maybe the apartment is not good because maybe the neighbors will hear, and you don't want that. So maybe you go outside and you go into the woods. If it's winter, you can go into your car and shut the windows. Everyone else has their windows shut. You can drive down the road and you can sing and no one's going to hear you. That's a good place to go. The classic is, of course, singing in the shower. But once again, be aware you want to sing in the shower when no one is listening. Okay? And I'll talk about the shower in just a moment, why that's often so helpful. But the thing is to clear the space so that's just you and your voice. Okay? That's the most important thing. Start there. Now, about the shower. The shower is, it's just a brilliant place to start singing. Why? Because it's warm. It's got all that steam going into your throat. It's making everything very, very easy and soft and flexible here. And also, and this is something that we don't really always appreciate, is that when you're in the shower, there's a sound going on. We have all that water running, and it makes a sound. And it makes quite a full sound in our ears when we're standing under a shower. And that gives us a lot of courage. If we think there's another big sound going on in the same room with us, it helps us to break free and to make our sound, because we, function psychologically as a kind of insulation, and acoustically as a kind of insulation for us. So that's one thing. And also, and that's the wonderful thing, the shower, of course, has this amazing reverb. Wow. And then you can make all kinds of sounds, this kind of sound, that kind of sound, what have you. Maybe it's a little nasal, maybe it's a little bit deep and woofy. What doesn't make any difference? If you sing in a shower, because there's so much reverb, it's going to reflect something back to you that you're really going to like. Okay? And you would like your voice a lot more if you heard it under ideal circumstances. And that really is an ideal personal space to start singing in, is like a reverb, where you have a lot of reverb. Shower is perfect. Another wonderful place is like if you have a stairwell. Like if you go into a public building, it has a stairwell. Almost always it has an amazing acoustic. But of course, you're not alone anymore. That's the problem. If you're in your shower, you're probably alone. I used to sing. I used to do a lot of warm-ups before auditions. I used to sing constantly in parking lots. And that was kind of an amazing experience because you have people walking by looking at you like you are crazy. And when they look at you as if you are crazy, then you start to think, God, maybe I'm crazy, singing the third act of Aida here in a parking garage. But the acoustic is amazing. There's so much reverb there going on. So that would be something to consider, that you're alone in a private space, and a space that has not a too dry of an acoustic that helps to kind of pull you out of yourself, that gives you back some feedback that you really say, oh, that's actually quite good. And then it helps us and encourages us to sing more. Now, that's the first thing, the space itself, not the singing. But the most important thing is the space itself. It has to be clean, has to be neutral enough that you're not triggered by whatever things are going on. Now, the second thing, starting from scratch. Don't underestimate how helpful humming can be to get you started. Okay, what is humming? Well, humming is singing with your mouth closed, and a lot of us can start there. If we just do, are we singing? Well, no, I'm not singing. I'm humming. And then if I'm humming, it's somehow a lot easier to accept. I don't have all that stuff which turns me off. It's not on. It's not triggering me, and I'm just having fun with my voice. And I'm not even singing. I'm just what kids do that, and so that's fine for me. I can just start as someone who hums. I can tell you, I've done my True Voice work for 30 years. This is my 30th year of offering True Voice work. I've been a singing teacher for 45 years. But this is the first 30-year anniversary of doing True Voice work. And I can tell you, here's something. In a normal workshop, if I just go around and say, all the people in the workshop and say, now how about this? Without making a sound, just open your mouth as far as you can. Just do this. And just hold that. And I can guarantee you that in about 10 seconds, at least 2 of those people in the circle are going to start crying. Why? Because there's been so much training, correcting, negative feedback. Stop. Just learned silence. In our own voices, that when we actually have the permission to actually open our mouth, open our jaw, open our voices, it triggers just a ton of pain, sometimes real trauma, and all kinds of issues that have nothing to do with singing, but are absolutely glued, you might say, glued together with singing, that you can barely separate them. So that's why sometimes just starting with a humming, where the mouth is already closed, is very helpful. And all those issues, we can bypass all these terrible issues that would stop it before we even get started. So humming is a good place to start. Don't underestimate it. And listen, what am I doing when I'm humming? All I'm doing is singing, but I'm singing with my mouth closed. Listen again. And you can do that. You can try it out just yourself. Just close your mouth, start with humming, and then as you get a little bit more comfortable with it, then open your mouth a little bit, and then close your mouth, back to humming. Then open your mouth, close your mouth, back to humming. Notice how comfortable that is. And there's something also very healthy about humming. I can tell you that sometimes when we sing, even experienced singers, when they start to sing, there's a whole constellation of constrictions and coordinations that we don't really want in singing, that hinder the vocal sound rather than help it to come out. And the funny thing is, this is a weird organic phenomenon, but it's been shown over and over again that sometimes when we start to hum, that a lot of those constrictions that appear automatically when we start to sing do not appear when we hum. And so we have a beautiful bridge again where we can get into something that actually is singing, but without the psychological issues and also the organic muscle issues that sometimes hinder our singing. So this is a really good thing. Start with humming, mouth closed, mouth open, mouth open, so on and so forth. Just do that way. So that's a helpful thing to do. Now, here's the last thing I want to mention, because there's a lot of ways that we can do this. And I have a lot of videos and about all this already, but one of the nice things about singing is, and now listen to this sounds revolutionary. This sounds like blasphemy, but it's true. And every child can confirm it. Every child can teach us over and over and over and over again what? That you don't need a song in order to sing. You don't need to memorize all 5 verses. You don't need to have a perfect ear to sing. You don't need to go to a singing teacher like me to sing. Okay? Sometimes, in fact, singing technique can get in the way of just good, natural, open singing. So what do we need? We need to give ourselves permission to follow that wonderful, incredible, healthy, divine impulse to express our inner world and share it with our outer world. We know that our outer world is sometimes a very, very difficult place to live in. It's a place where so much can happen that is very painful for us. Painful for us to watch, painful for us to experience. But there's something healing, there's a healing effect if we take an authentic inner impulse and translate it into sound and share that it inspires and motivates and gives a lot of people a lot of courage to do that themselves. And it helps to free us out of all that stuff coming from outside that's so difficult to process. And we are immediately connected with that wonderful source in ourselves that we express and share with each other. And it feels completely differently. It's one of those things that supports us. It's one of those things that acknowledges us in our humanity. And as we share it with other people get it. Here's a place of reality that is not going to hurt us, but it's going to help us. So don't wait for a song in order to sing. Just start making nonsense. Start making gibberish. Start, and here's that word, improvising. Start making stuff up. Make stuff up. Funny noises, funny consonants, weird vowels. I live in Germany. Germany's got these great diphthongs. Wow, you can just start there. You start anywhere you want, but just be aware you have no place to go with it. You just have to start it and just see kind of where the sounds want to take you. Don't be the leader. Let the sounds, let the inner impulse sort of lead you. And this is something that every child does. Even children that don't have any sense of musicality, their own, if you give them a chance, they're off in the corner doing, and that's not just for kids, it's for you. And if you're looking for a bridge back to your voice, here's one of the best ones I know. Start with nothing. Start with gibberish. Start with just nonsensical sounds. And don't judge yourself for them. Don't make yourself feel stupid because of them. Enjoy the freedom of pure nonsense. So, Hey Maria, se amara no buco do bapaparuai, para beijo patacata, hey, so babina. And it just starts nowhere and it ends nowhere, and in between is just pure fun. And it's like a revival. It's like a revival of your soul. It's a revival of your feeling. It's a revival of that beautiful voice that's been hiding and waiting for someone to come and give it permission to come out. And that's probably the last point I would make, and that's a theme in itself, an issue in itself, as the last thing, how to start from scratch. And I'll say it again. Most of us are waiting for someone to give us permission to sing. We're waiting for a teacher, maybe a friend, maybe someone in our family, maybe someone in the school, maybe someone at work, maybe someone somewhere that would just give me permission to do it. And that's my last piece of advice, and I would really share that from my heart to yours. Believe me, you don't have to wait on anyone for that. You and you alone can give yourself that permission. So just take the time for that kind of expansion in your daily life, for that kind of just ability, to love yourself, to open your voice and to express whatever's there. And just notice how good that feels and how good that is for us to do. So if you have any resonance with what I'm saying, if you know what I'm talking about, and you feel this is helping you, don't forget, like and subscribe. And please write something in the comments. Let's involve ourselves in our community's growth here. Let's share what that is for you. How is that for you? What helps you to get your voice going? What helps you to get over all of that, those hesitations that go on in us, those fears that go on? What is it that does you good? And is there something that you notice blocks you? What is the kind of situation where you feel blocked? And what's the kind of situation that opens you and helps you to come into your own voice again? So we're really looking forward to hearing from you and sharing.